Now, I will never get political on this channel. I will, however, make fun of hyper-political losers. I mean, that's a pastime we could all enjoy. Today, I want to talk about the performative loser that is Anthony Fantano, and mainly discussing his Twitter and what he posts on there. Now, I've been watching Fantano since like 2017, 2018, and even though I disagree with some of his music takes, I respect the dude because music is all opinion based. You're allowed to have whatever opinion you want on music, and he stayed in his lane. All he did was make music reviews, talk about the music, talk about the art. That's all it needs to be. Now, I can already hear you saying, well, Jeff, music is political. For someone to review it, they're gonna have to talk politics. I get that. That's cool. But that's not really my point. Fantano can totally agree with a song that has a political opinion in it. Hey, boo her! Boo! It's more so these like cocky, scumbag type responses he has on Twitter to people that he disagrees with. So I guess let's crack open this bottle. The first thing I want to go over is this interview Pharrell Williams had, and it's probably my strongest point for this whole video. This is the catalyst that formed these thoughts for me to make this video.
I hate politics, like despise them. It's a magic trick that it's not real. I don't believe in either side, because I think when you pick a side, you are only, you are inadvertently supporting division. Are there black people in there tonight? Yeah. And in your heart, do you think for what it is that you do and who you are, do you think you're the best? Okay, so do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best? The best. Do you want someone to support your startup because you're black or because you're the best? Yes. Right.
Now, I think Pharrell Williams here, he said something that anybody could agree with. I don't think this is even subjective. I think there's too much division in this country. I think we need to stop picking sides and hating everybody. And I think we need to boost people that are actual hard workers, that are actually good people, that actually put in that work, actually have skill, actually have talent, and not just because they have a skin color, or they go by a gender, or they're gay. Now, what could Fantano possibly disagree with in this statement? How could he possibly make this about Trump? How could he possibly be against this sentiment? Well, I'll tell you. He says, might just be me, but I'm fine with being divided against authoritarian pedophiles and anyone stupid enough to support them. Have we lost the plot? Are we that far away from home? And of course he has to make it about Trump, somehow. Now, you can hate Trump, that's not my problem, I'm not saying that. To me, it's just wild how happy people are being divided and hating everybody. Wouldn't society just overall work better if we just had less hatred for people? Isn't that what the Bible tells us? Now, moving on to my next point, my other main point, I got plenty of examples for this one. It's how performative this guy is. Every post on Twitter is, oh, please accept me, black people. Please accept me, women. And especially black women. It's just the corniest behavior I ever see out of my fellow white folk. And I get it, we're not the coolest people on the planet anymore. We're not on top of society anymore, whatever. I get it, black people are cool. It's just hilarious how many white people just throw away their pride and their self-esteem to be like, oh, black people, yes. You are better, yes. Now, before I completely pre-fire my career, let me get on to these examples. I want to point you towards the Tory Lanez situation that's going on in court as we speak. You know, we have posts like this one here where somebody says, oh, we have compelling evidence that Tory Lanez is innocent. And it's like, okay. And then Anthony Fantano replies, there needs to be an investigation into whether or not this woman was paid. It's like, okay, bro. Then we have these reposts and, these quick responses. And it's like, all right, dude, we get it. You're supporting the woman. All right, we get it. But only when it's a woman of color or a woman of gayness or LGB, whatever. Because we go to this next post and a white woman here has an interview with Nick Fuentes, Let's not get started on Nick Fuentes. And she gets dropped from her film and all these people start leaving her and this and that. And, Fantano needs to repost someone making fun of her and, calling her out on it. And speaking of Nick Fuentes, another example could be how Anthony Fantano treats Kanye. Kanye could drop the best album you ever heard in your life. 10 out of 10. No one compares. Best features, best instrumentals, best lyrics, everything. And Fantano will still give it a 0 out of 10 and dog on it, just because he's Kanye West. It just screams, hey, I'm performative. I only do things that'll get me accepted by the majority. It's embarrassing. And then you have all these reposts of these random black women that are singers, rappers. You never heard of them ever in your life.
But, you know, Fantano's going to make sure he reposts them because they're quirky and they're black and they're women. And ultimately, I think these people like Fantano that are super performative and they're always trying to do everything they can to have people know that they support black lives and they support women and feminism. I think they're the most racist and sexist people that are actually here on the planet. And of course, Fantano has his controversies, and I think this is why he acts like this. You know, he said the N-word multiple times on the internet over the years. He made fun of Trayvon Martin's death, and I'm sure there's plenty more. I'm just not a fan of cancel culture. I don't go searching up every bad thing a person's done. These are just things that I've heard. I think he's just trying to make up for the fact that he has a kind of shady past, and he's questionable himself. He's also just obsessed with Trump. Like, every other post on Twitter is bashing Trump, calling him a pedophile, all this other shit. And, you know, he just may be a pedophile, but we were not hearing that back in 2020, 2024. When the Epstein controversy was full force and center, Fantano didn't say a word about it. It was only after Republicans took office and he had an agenda to push. And he needed acceptance from the majority, so he jumped on the bandwagon right when it was ripe time. Not when it mattered, but, you know, after it mattered. So that's my opinion of Fantano. Hella performative. I think he's a fake person. I don't think he really even believes 80% of the shit that comes out of his mouth. I really don't. I give his performativeness a solid 1.5 out of 10. Do better next time. You're a loser.